सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे बहुनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति सा महात्मा सुदुर्लभः परं ब्रह्म परं धाम पवित्रं परमान् भवान् पुरुषं शाश्वतं दिव्यम् आदिदेवम् अजं विभुम् अगस्त्वं ऋष्य सर्वे देवर्षिर्नारद तथा अशिता देवला व्यास स्वयं चैव ब्रवीषि ईश्वरा परमा कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर्गोविंद सर्वकारण कारणम्. Okay, Hare Krishna. So welcome to our Canto 1 study. Okay, so now we've completed the conversation. No, we are begin the conversation. Okay, so where are we now? Dharma and Dhara, the bull and the calf or the cow. So they are having this conversation. So what is this conversation? What is the burden of this earth? How the religious principles have fallen on this earth, right? So that's a conversation that we're going to have now. And, after these conversations, many things that Dara is going to explain, right? She's going to explain why the fallen religiously, how people of this age behave, and what is the current situation. So that's the first part of the discussion we're going to have. The second part of the discussion is we're going to have how the cow or the mother, cow earth is Prithvi, right? She's representing Prithvi. So how she is finding herself separation of Krishna. What are the glorious events that happened during presence of Krishna and how she is feeling the separation of Krishna. And because of that, how she is completely, dull, given up and not having that or feeling the pain of separation, right? So we'll discuss both these parts today. So sloka number 19 to 25 is conversation between religiosity and Mother Earth. Okay. Then from 25 to 36 is all about separation, the feeling of separation by the Mother Earth. Right. So we're going to discuss about these two facts. Okay. So are you all on the same page today?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. I hope you're reading the purports. If you don't read the purports, then you can't follow through properly. Okay. So very important to follow through with the purports on a regular basis. Only then you see that you are in pace with what we are discussing here. Okay. Thank you. Let me close these things. Yeah. So what I've done, okay, so we've done sloka number 19, we've done 20, we've done, okay. So I have compiled a document on this, okay, to make it simple just for the pronunciation point of view. So what we'll do is we'll try to take the document, read from the document. Okay, so this time what we're going to do, we're going to have a little bit different approach. We're going to have one bullet point read by one devotee. So that way all of us will cover detailedly and we'll ask questions as to have you understood the subject very clearly. Okay, so we will do that. Huh? Okay, okay. Yeah, but it's a number format I have to convert, so you can come here. Okay, Hare Krishna, you're able to see this document?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu. Yes.
Okay.
I'm
So,
able to see it, Prabhu.
okay, good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to read the extracts. These are called summary extracts, which is compiled from each of the points that is as a conversation between the bull and the cow, or Dara and Dharma. Okay. So now each one of you can start reading and we will discuss the points here. Okay. Yes. Each one of you take turns.
Hare Krishna.
Hmm.
The people of the world in this age of Kali are always full of anxieties and everyone affected with some kind of disease. From the very faces of the people of this age, one can find out the index of the mind. Everyone feels the absence of his relative who is away from home. This particular symptom of the age of Kali is that no family is now blessed to live together. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So what are the key things? You will see that everyone is always anxious. What is going to happen for me? What is my benefit? What is my pie of the cake? Right? They're always anxious. They're anxious about the outcome of what is going to happen next. Whether it be sports, politics, financials, health, education, everywhere you see. Forget anxiety, even now anxiety at home also. Is there going to be a fight or is there going to be happiness? Right? Okay. Everyone is going to be affected with some sort of disease, right? So you see that's very prominent. That's why you see people adopting medical insurance and medical practices is so much. Huh? Hardly there used to be medical shops in the earlier days. There used to be only provision stores a lot. Now medical stores are competing or even going ahead of the number of medical stores compared to the provision stores, right? Okay. Importantly, you will see people will not live together. That means they will all become nuclear, small size families, which is very true now. Why people can't live together? Because they cannot tolerate each other. Okay. So one of the major symptom of Kali Yuga is people are always envious of others. That is the major symptom of this material world. Right? Oh, how come you're doing better than me? Oh, how come someone is respecting you? How come you're rich? Oh, how come you're strong? How come you're beautiful? How come you're highly educated? Why I'm not able to? Always envious. Okay, so hence the result of this enviousness and result of intolerance, you see that people cannot live together. That is, I'm not telling about friends, I'm talking about within brothers, sisters, cousins. This is what is going to be there. Okay, okay, next point.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I
Read.
read?
Yeah, yeah.
Two. With the progress of the age of Kali, four things particularly, namely the duration of life, mercy, the power of recollection, and moral or religious principles will gradually diminish. Since dharma or the principles of religion would be lost in the proportion of 3 out of 4, the symbolic bull was standing on one leg only. When three-fourths of the population of the whole world become irreligious, the situation is converted into hell for the animals. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam 16.
1.16.20.
That is the 20th sloka.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what are the things? So we'll talk about platform of religiosity. What is platform of religiosity? Platform of religiosity begins, dharmartha, kama, and moksha. But the higher stages of realization tells you there is a creator who has created me, who has created all the elements in this material world. And the role of this material world and the role of the people who have been created is to what? is to please the master, the creator. Right? This is the base rule. If this is true, then religious principles are nothing but a mechanism or a platform to tell us how do we express our gratitude to that creator. Okay, so religion means what? Religion is a set of subjects or a platform or a method that can help us to fall in love with the creator, who is the cause for my creation. Okay, is that clear? So now this religion is based on religious principles. So, what are the four religious principles that this Veda Shastra propounds? The four religious principles are representations of the four legs of the bull. Okay. Now, if one of the leg of the bull is cut, that means one religious principle has fallen. So, for example, being merciful is one of the religiosity. Okay. So, if someone is going to be killing all the animals and eating it for sense gratification, that means the merciful nature of this planet will fall down. Now, when the merciful nature of this planet falls down, that means what? People will not be respectful to each other. People will not care for others' life. People will be very hard hearted. They don't care. They want their agenda to be done. We don't care what happens to others. We want to win. The base symptom of such a this thing is war, theft, other activities that are very injurious to human life. All these things come up because of there is no mercifulness. Okay? If you see anywhere you have a doubt, you please stop and ask me so that we can clarify. Okay? So now you see mercy, animal killing is, and how much it will have? When 3/4 of the population become atheist, animal killing will become very, very strong. And that's what's happening in this world today. Okay? It says situation is converted to hell. Okay. So what are the other two religious principles that has fallen down in this Kali Yuga so far?
Austerity,
Truthfulness, sir.
Truthfulness has not fallen down.
Except truthfulness,
austerity
Prabhu.
and cleanliness.
No, the answer is what are the two things that has fallen?
Austerity.
Austerity and cleanliness. Prabhu.
Okay, what does that religious principle refer to?
Austerity refers to because people are into intoxication, Prabhu. So austerity is gone.
Okay.
And illicit sex will lead to fall down of cleanliness, both internal and external cleanliness. Prabhu.
Correct. Okay. So, see, technically, there is no need of this marriage or anything like that. Okay. Individually, we are servants of the Lord. We are all Prakriti. We may have male body or female body, we are all Prakriti. Okay. But to avoid this illicit activity, this this arrangement of married life and live within this married life has been brought into. Right? Otherwise, all of us have our duty towards service of Lord. That's it. Right? So a system has been brought in so that people do not deviate the path in an unwanted manner. So that's why, illicit sex is one of the principles of religiosity. Okay? Intoxication, Mataji talked about. So the only pillar that is left is truthfulness. That means how much our falsification will happen, truth will prevail at some point in time. And the fact that Krishna is absolute truth, people will realize Krishna is an absolute truth by practice of certain religious principles. So that's why truthfulness is continued to remain. So this Dharma, the bull, was standing on one leg instead of four legs. Now what does that mean? All of the three legs have fallen down. That means three principles of religiosity has fallen down. That's what it means. Okay? Is this clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, third bullet. Who's going to read?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. So, in the age of Kali, godless civilizations will create so many so-called religious societies in which the personality of Godhead will be directly or indirectly defied. And thus, faithless societies of men will make the world uninhabitable for the saner section of the people. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.16.20.
Okay, so what does this mean? What does godless civilization means? Godless civilization tells that, oh, I am aware of everything, I am in control of my life, I am completely independent in nature. I don't need to depend on anyone. That is what is called as godless civilization. That means they cut the position of authority from the smallest level to the greatest level. That's what it means. So they don't have faith on the scriptures, they don't faith on the creator, they don't faith on the nature, nothing are the sadhus. So that is what is becoming in the society. Okay. Now what will happen when a godless society comes? Right? See, today Krishna is called Sarvakarana Karanam. That means everything that is happening today in this world, the cause of all causes is Krishna. Okay. For example, nature is controlling. Nature is controlling the seasons. The seasons will have to happen on time. The planetary positions, the movement of all these things should happen on time. The rotation of Earth has to happen at the same speed. The distance between the Sun and the Earth has to be maintained at the same distance. If any of these things are disturbed, you will see we cannot live at all in this place. Just a second is enough for us to get killed. Right? But the Lord does this without any expectation. So now, rather than expressing gratitude, what are we getting? We are getting to faithlessness. That I am the doer of this place. Right? He is so much dependent, but he thinks he's the doer. Right? So this is called the extreme development of false ego. And that is what is going to happen in the age of Kali. Right? Now, if any of you defy with whatever is we discussed, then we can have a discussion right away. Okay? Now, most important thing that you see as a symptom in current Kali Yuga is many irreligious groups or teams will get formed. Okay? And all these teams you see, they will call it themselves as so-called religiosity, but they'll do many other things. Just many other things. Right? So how did this happen? So, for example, when Prithu Maharaj was performing or trying to complete the 100 Ashwamedha Yagyas, Indra was getting unstable. Indra could not tolerate it. Why? Because the fear of failure, fear of insecurity. He thought that if Prithu Maharaj completes 100 Ashwamedha Yagya, I am the only one and he will compete with me and I have to lose my position as Indradev. He didn't want to do that. He tried many ways, stealing the horse, uh, again twice, and then he tried many ways to stop the Yagya. But Prithu Maharaj was very firm and determined. So what he did, he didn't know what else to do. He created many irreligiosity, false sannyasis, religious groups. He created them, and that caused increase in the burden of this earth. When Brahmaji saw that, he said, "Oh, this Indra will go to this extent, cause a havoc in this world." He came begging to Prithu Maharaj and said, "Please stop the Ashwamedha, the 100th Ashwamedha Yagya. You just leave it and you continue to your other principles." So after Brahmaji begged, Prithu Maharaj stopped. And until then, Indra created non-religious societies, and that's why you have more and more today. Right? Okay. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Bullet number 4. Who's going to read?
I'll read,
Can I read,
Prabhu.
Prabhu?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, one of you.
Hare Krishna. In the age of Kali, the women and the children, along with the brahmanas and cows, will be grossly
No,
neglected and
Prabhu.
left.
4, number
Prabhu.
4.
Four.
Number 4.
Sorry. Um, uh, Beef is forbidden in the scripture, and the bulls and cows are of the fear, special protection by the followers of the Vedas. But in the age of Kali, people will exploit the body of the bull and the cow as they like, and thus they will be invites suffering of various types. Bhagavatam 1.6, 1.620 per. Hare
Hmm.
Krishna.
So now meat eating is very prevalent. You see export of meat, red meat, all over the world, and the people consume like anything, right? So which is very true. Whatever Bhagavatam so far said is very true in all the 4 points. Hmm? Okay, so 5. And
Hare
what
Krishna.
the cows are expecting protection only from the people who follow of the Vedas. That means from devotees. So devotees do go rakshak, and non-devotees do they kill.
Go Bakshak, Prabhu.
Go bakshak. Okay, okay, 5.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
That's
In
all.
the age of Kali, the women and the children, along with brahmanas and cows, will be grossly neglected and left unprotected in this age. In this age, illicit connection with a woman will render many women and children uncared for, for
Uncared for.
uncared for.
Circumstantially.
Circumstantially, the woman will try to become independent of the production of man, and marriage will be performed as a matter of formal agreement between men and women. In most cases, the children will not be taken care of properly. Bhagavatham 1.16.21 purport. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So what Shastra says? The women, the brahmanas, the elderly, and the children must be protected. Okay, we saw that now. So, for example, when Krishna was returning back to Dwaraka, there were all kinds of people who came to receive Krishna. In that, there were discussion of women, animals, elderly, children all came. And you saw how they were all given the first class treatment, they were given privilege, and they were taken care. Right? But now you see, as the age progresses, these people are neglected. Women are exploited for prostitution. The elderly are not cared. The children, are either left away or the children are engaged in, what do you say, underage working. What do they say? Child labor, something like that.
They have been left to use mobile phones, Guruji.
Yeah, all those things, right?
Yes.
So you see, many of these things are completely uncared for in the society. But that society will fall. That society cannot strong. Okay? Then look at this point. Circumstantially, women will try to become independent of the protection of the men. The Shastra says women needs to be protected by the father from the birth until she gets married. After the marriage, the women needs to be protected by the husband. In case husband leaves early, the woman needs to be protected by her children. So that means throughout the life, the women needs to be protected. But now look at this statement. It says the women will become independent of the protection of the men. They'll say, no, we don't care. We don't want to live with you. We live alone. We are well educated. We have all the knowledge. We are empowered. We are equal to you. All these things happen, no? So this is what it is. And importantly, marriage will happen as a matter of, one small agreement. We have no engagement agreement we sign, no, like that. So marriage will be based on material strength of a person. Okay, how much material opulence he possesses. But in those days, what used to happen? Marriage was given not based on material opulence; it was based on spiritual opulence. Right? Is the person God conscious? Can the son-in-law take my daughter back home, back to Godhead? Can my son-in-law produce progeny which will result in Suputra? These were the consideration. So, for example, when Swayambhumanu came, right? Swayambhumanu was a king. His daughter Devahati is a queen, princess, I would say. Very opulent, both beautifully, highly educated, plus comes from a kingly family. Now, he did not marry her to another king's son. He searched for an eligible Brahmana. When he found that Kardama Muni was an eligible Brahmana and he was living as a hermit in a small house or hut, he gave his daughter to her. Why? Because he told his daughter, if you marry someone else, you may live like a queen, but you will not go back home, back to Godhead. But when you marry Kardama, you may live poorly, but you will die opulently. Right? So that's the point that he used to get her married. Now, also, it is Shastra also says, out of all the dhana that we make, right, Kanya Dana is considered to be the topmost. That means giving our daughter to an eligible Brahmana who will liberate her and himself is considered to be topmost. And the father-in-law, that means the daughter's father, who makes such a dana, will also get liberated. Right? So look at what the Shastra says. Right? So it is very important to search for the right boy and then get over. But that's the previous age. But today's age, what's happening? Look at this, right? So as a formal agreement. Okay, good. Sixth.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The Brahmanas are traditionally intelligent men, and thus they will be able to pick up modern education to the topmost rank. But as far as moral and religious principles are concerned, they shall be the most fallen. Education and bad character go ill together, but such things will run parallel. Bhagavatam 1.16.21 purport. Hare Krishna.
You see, Brahmanical class are called intelligent class. The Kshatriya class is administrative class, and Vaishya class is Vanijya, business, right? And Sudra class is labor class. Okay, good. Now, this Brahmanas class, once they fall down from the previous ages, now what is happening is they are able to, when they're born again, they're able to take up modern education and take up high positions in the society, right? Be it government, or be it in the political, or be it research, business, or what it may be. They will take high positions, and you will see their ability to grasp subjects also are very quick. Even middle subjects, they will learn very well. Even today, it's visible. A Brahminical boy, you see, he will learn very well. But what is he supposed to do? He is supposed to learn Shastra. But what is he learning? Just modern education, not having knowledge about Shastra. Okay? When they learn only modern education, not understanding the Vedic purpose of the existence of human life, they will fall down. When they fall down, what they do? They adopt and they break all the four regulative principles, and they lead such a ill-charactered life. So what happened to their education? What happened to the high education that they got? Right? So that's what Bhagavatam is trying to tell. Right? So technically, the so-called Brahmanas do not exist. To find a good Brahmana who's God conscious, either a Bhajananandi or a Goshtyanandi, is very, very difficult to find in this age. That's the point of conclusion. Okay. Seventh. Someone read?
In the age of Kali, shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, read. In this age.
In this age of Kali, the fathers
Hare
and the
Krishna, Prabhuji.
guardians
No. Where
are
is
not.
Kali? In this age.
Seventh part.
Are you able to see the screen, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
In this age, Mataji, that's all. There's no Kali here.
Oh, sorry. In
Ah.
this age, the fathers and the guardians are not happy with the behavior of their children. They should know that so many innocent children are victims of bad association awarded by the influence of this. I am reading from mobile, Prabhuji. Influence of this age of Kali. We know from Srimad Bhagavatam that Ajamila, an innocent Brahman, son of a Brahmana, was walking down a road and saw a Shudra pair sexually embracing. This attracted the boy, and later on, the boy became a victim of all debaucheries. From a pure Brahmana, he fell down to the
Position of
a wretched urchin, and it was all due to bad association. There was
but
one victim like Ajamila in those days, but in this age of Kali, the poor innocent students are daily victims of cinemas which attract men only for sex indulgence. Bhagavatam 1.16.22 purport.
Okay. So you see, a boy taking up the wrong path was a very rare phenomenon in the past. Prabhupada writes, we saw one story, Ajamila. He saw a prostitute, he fell down, and then he got his life doomed. Right? So that was a very rare character, once happened, and then it was recorded. Now, in Kali Yuga, what's happening? Everyone is doing that, right? So children at the young age, getting into wrong habits, getting into bad association, practicing improper, the purity for children are very important. Unless one is pure, you will not get the strength to practice Brahminical life. You cannot learn the Shastras. You cannot learn any of those things. It is impossible. So purity is the force. So if children do not practice this student Brahminical life until the age of 25, then you will see their ability to take on life and practice the life of devotion will become very, very challenging. And that's what has been explained to you. Okay? Okay. Can someone read this paragraph?
Hare Krishna. Kali cripples the four religious principles austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, which drive away the four pillars of religion. Illicit sex, irreligion, illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. Although these four religious principles are not the final goal of religion, a society in which they are prominent is fertile for the citizens' natural development of love for Krishna. Kali's business, therefore, is to beat and break these religious legs.
Okay. So what is the goal of Kali? Kali is, I want to break religiosity so that there is no connection to God. That's her aim. That's his aim. So what Kali will do, will propagate situations or activities that will make only this important. So for example, you see the number of pubs and bars in Bangalore. Go back to Google and take statistics. What was it 10 years back, 20 years back, 30 years back? You see the numbers that have been growing. So, the act of Kali. Kali will ensure that there is intelligence for the atheist and they will propagate this. Right? So, like that, in all the four areas, he will continue to break religiosity completely. That is the role of Kali. Okay? So, what devotees do? We stay away. We stay away from this because we want to practice Krishna conscious. If we stay away from the four religious places where Kali is going to be prominent, then you see our consciousness being affected by Kali becomes very, very low chance. And we can have greater practices in love of Godhead. That's what Prabhupada writes. Natural development for love of God. This is what will happen. Right? So, by chanting the holy name, you see Kali fears. It doesn't come near us. And that way, hold our practices holding the four dharmic principles, right? So, very important. Now, Kali, what does it do in the current situation? Kali will wait for an opportunity to enter our arena. One mistake you make, it'll allure you to make more mistakes. So, that's why it is dangerous to stay away. Prabhupada, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu leads by examples under many situations. Mahaprabhu went for South India tour. He had one personal assistant. His name is Kala Krishna Das. Now, what does Kala Krishna Das do? He would be always with Mahaprabhu, cook, prepare everything for Mahaprabhu. That means, look at him. He is always associating with the Supreme Lord, continuously. But, during the course of this entire South Indian journey, somehow he got attracted to the hippies. Himself in illicit activities with them. Now look at it. Even though he is with Mahaprabhu all the time, still he fell down because of the state of consciousness. That is the point you have to understand. Now, Mahaprabhu had to save him and then bring him back to Jagannath Puri. So that's a different aspect. But my point is, we may be practicing devotion, we may be with devotees, we may read Srimad Bhagavatam, things like that. But we should safeguard ourselves from any of these fall downs. You cannot give a chance. Prabhupada says, association with women is the most dangerous. Right? And Prabhupada says, the women can make a woman fall down even with her eyesight. Just by eye-to-eye contact, she can attract men. So, Prabhupada always brought about activities that will prohibit women-man interaction in a closer manner. Of course, you can interact from a service point of view or from activities point of view, but you should immediately cut it after that. You should not go beyond it. Because Kali is waiting for an opportunity to make us fall down. Okay? Is this clear so far?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Okay, great. Now let's look at the next paragraph.
I'll read, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Read.
In Vedic times, people valued these four principles because they bred
The bread character
character.
means they fermented and formed character. Okay.
Okay. Ultimately, as Srila Prabhupada notes in his purport to Bhagavatam 1.17.24, such strong men of character were competent enough to get away from the clutches of Maya. Gradually, as Kali Yuga progresses, these basic religious principles become proportionately curtailed by pride, intoxication, and attachment to women. Thus, the path of transcendental bliss disappears from human society. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Now let's read this. Very beautiful. Prabhupada writes in his purport. What does he write? Strong men of character were competent to get away from the clutches of Maya. Okay? What is a strong man? Strong man doesn't mean physically strong, spiritually strong. Okay? Gradually, as Kali Yuga progress, as Kali Yuga's influence becomes stronger and stronger, then what you say, this basic religious principle became proportionally curtailed by pride, intoxication, attachment to women. So these are the three things, right? Intoxication at all levels must be completely avoided. Pride. What is pride? Thinking that I am the doer, thinking that I am the best, thinking that I am the cause of all causes. There is no one superior to me. I will not hear or listen to anyone. All these things are pride. In fact, when our Kratu Maharaj came, he gave a beautiful expression for pride. What is pride? Pride means, he said pride can be dissipated only by humility. Okay, if you are humble, pride will never come to you. Okay, then how do you understand humble? He said humble means to accept something lower than what I deserve, what I am capable of, is called humility. Beautiful definition he gave. That means what? You may say, hey, I need to be honored in this place. If I'm not honored, if I'm not given a proper chair, that means I will consider it as, disrespectful or ill treatment to me. Now, what is humility? Even though I deserve it, I will accept even if I'm given a lower position or if I'm given an ordinary position in the arena. That is called humility. So, Maharaj said, if you are humble like that in your consciousness, you will attract the mercy of Lord. So, this is very, very important. So, when we don't practice removal of pride, removal of intoxication, and then, unnecessary attachment to women, then you'll see we cannot have a society. Now, recently, what happened in Gujarat, these people have all got together, many societies, they said, we want to make the entire state of Gujarat non-veg free. There will not be any production or consumption or sales of non-vegetarian products, starting with egg. So, in that path, they already made 4-5 cities. I was reading the article, 4-5 cities completely vegetarian. In the entire city, you travel northwest, east, south of that city, you will not find even egg also to be bought. Amazing, no? See, it is possible. But because we are having the Sudra mentality people sitting on top of it, they will induce irreligiosity. Okay. So now the bull further inquired. I will read this. Are you suffering because you are bereft of presence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared just to relieve your burden? Now we are talking about separation. Okay. So the conversation between Dhara and Dharma is completed. Now the bull is asking the cow, Are you feeling dull? You're feeling separation. You're feeling down. Is it because you got separate from the Lord? Is a sadness caused by contemplating his pastimes in the absence? When Krishna was there on Mother Earth, he performed amorous pastimes. And what is the beauty of his pastime is every day Krishna would walk the entire Rajamandal in his bare feet. Now, what does the lotus feet of Krishna contain? It contained many symbols. Conch, the umbrella, so many other symbols were there. And with those symbols, he used to touch the feet of Krishna, touch the surface of Mother Earth. By that, he benedicted her all the time. So she felt immense pleasure when Krishna's lotus feet was kept on her. Now, what is the proof? So in the Kaliya, the dance of Kaliya, what happened? Krishna danced on the head of Kaliya. Now, after the entire the pastime of Kaliya was completed, Kaliya was asked to leave the place. Kaliya said, "No, no, no, I don't want to leave this place. Oh my Lord, it's very dangerous because that great Garuda will be there. Once I leave this place, the Garuda will come and catch me and he'll kill me off. So I cannot go." And what is Krishna's answer? Krishna said, "When Garuda comes, he will see my footprints on your hood. When he sees my footprints on your hood, he will not do anything to you. You will be fully protected. So why worry?" So that is the glory of the footprints of the Lord. So Mother Earth is telling those footprints were constantly available on my surface during the time when Krishna and Balaram were there. Right? So he says, now that was the cause. Now, Mother Earth, please tell me the cause of your tribulation, for it is reduced to such weakness. It seems that the all-powerful conqueror has forcibly stolen all your good fortune. That means Krishna has left this world, and you don't know what to do. Okay? Now we're going to come into the discussion of the separation of the Lord and what is that cost to Mother Earth. Okay? Can someone read this paragraph?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shall I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, no, you don't need to ask. Take your turn, but give turns to everyone. That's all.
Mother Earth, in the form of a cow, replied, "O Dharma, I shall reply to all your questions. You once had 4 legs, and you increased happiness all over the world by the mercy of the Lord, in which eternally reside all auspicious and exalted qualities. That personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all goodness and beauty, Lord Sri Krishna, has now closed his transcendental pastimes on the face of the earth. In his absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. Sorry to see this condition of existence.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Now, okay, so before we further read, I have an important announcement for all of you. Yes. See, tomorrow at Begur Center, we are doing a full day discussion or a workshop on deity worship, right? So many people have registered, but this time the deity worship is going to be very seriously going to be done. We want to teach the philosophy behind deity worship, then we want to teach the activities behind deity worship, right? So lunch prasadam for all of the registrations are taken care. If any of you did not register, and if you feel that you are interested to attend this, please contact Pawan Prabhu or Senthil Prabhu or Suvinay Prabhu or someone, and ensure that your registrations are taken care. Okay? So I thought I'll just tell you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, if can record the whole program, it will be nice, Prabhu, because for some reason I may not be available, but I am very much interested. I will be deprived of what to do.
But why Mataji asked Mataji to attend?
Both of us will not be available, Prabhu. That's the whole problem.
So recording will be difficult because it's a combination of many activities together. And I don't know. Maybe Pawan Prabhu can you talk to Pawan Prabhu and ask him if he's got any
Yeah.
made any plans for recording or anything like that?
Prabhu,
Yeah.
it was difficult, Prabhu, the recording because we need a stand and all those things to do properly. Prabhu.
It can go as a record, and it can also go as a, I mean, sometimes we may, although we heard, we might be doing mistake, but we can repeatedly review it. That is also one possibility is there. Think, Prabhu, if it is possible.
Because it's one full day, Prabhu, so I don't know how to.
Important
You
aspects we can capture.
can discuss outside and then see what alternatives can be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Did we read this? Yeah. Okay. Now can someone read this? I am lamenting.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
I am lamenting for you, for all who follow the Lord's Varnashrama system, and for myself as well. Krishna bestowed the greatest fortune on me because by his presence I was decorated with the impressions of the flag, thunderbolt, elephant driving rod, and lotus flower, which are the signs of the lotus feet of the Lord. But at the end, when I felt I was fortunate, earth's fortune vanished with the Lord's departure. Is the so fortunate. The Lord left me. Bhagavatam 1.16.33. Subject of much of Srila Prabhupada's important purport to text 33. Prabhupada compels us to remain constantly in the Lord's presence.
So now the point is this, right? Probably you read the next paragraph also.
The beauty and opulence of the world can be enhanced by the grace of the Lord and not by any man-made planning. When the Lord Sri Krishna was present on this earth, the impressions of the special signs of his lotus feet were stamped on the dust, and as a result of this specific grace, the whole earth was made as perfect as possible. In other words, the rivers, the seas, the forests, the hills, and the mines, which are the supplying agents for the necessities of men and animals, were fully discharging their respective duties. Therefore, the riches of the world surpassed all the riches of all other planets in the three planetary systems of the universe. One should therefore ask that the grace of the Lord always be present on earth, so that we may be favored with his causeless mercy and be happy, having all necessities of life.
Okay, so now if you look at these two paragraphs, right? What is the essence? The essence, it says, the Lord was present on this planet. His lotus feet was always present on the surface of this earth. Because of that, there was so much of auspiciousness, there was so much of opulence, and there was so much of happiness. All negativity was completely driven away. Okay. Now, Lord, after 125 years of performance of his pastimes, departed this world. Now, the bull is asking the cow, that means, does it mean the end of all auspiciousness for this? So, what's the solution here? So, the solution is that Lord may unmanifest, but he is still present. So, that means our practice of devotion or our practice of day to day activities of life should be remembrance of the Lord, calling out his names, discussing his pastimes, discussing about his entourage, discussing about the pastimes of his associates. So, like that. By doing this, you will never feel the absence of Lord. And that's the conversation between these two conclude. Is this clear? The Lord may be not physically present in front of you, but the presence of the Lord can be manifested in your heart by your practice of devotion. Wherever you are, you can make that place as Vrindavan by giving that as a priority in your life. Okay, so that is the conclusion of this. Is this conclusion very clear for all of you?
Yes,
That
Prabhu.
is,
Yes, Prabhu.
that is Vapu and Vani concept, Prabhu. When Prabhupada explained, when physically not present, Vani is there. Like that?
Yes, yes, yes. You can also consider that that explanation also will suit here. Okay. When Guru is here, you personally serve him. That is Vapu. When Guru is not here, you serve his instruction. And that is Vani. And both are equally strong, equally powerful. Right? Yeah, very good. Okay. So now how this happened? This point, how to remember the Lord when He is not here, is the conclusion that we're going to have, which these slokas are going to tell us. Can someone read? I want you to read this black and the red, and yeah, until the red you have to read. Who's going to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, one of you.
The
key takeaway,
okay.
please.
Yeah, one of you, please read.
The important key takeaway summary. One may ask how we can detain the Supreme Lord on this earth after his mission is fulfilled and he has left this earth for his own abode. Bhagavatam 1.16.26 to 30 names 40 of the unlimited and eternal transcendental qualities of that Krishna possesses, such as truthfulness, cleanliness, intolerance of another's unhappiness, and the power of control, anger. Srila Prabhupada comments on the Lord's unfathomable qualities in his purport. Even if it were possible to count the atoms after smashing the earth into powder, still it would not be possible to estimate the unfathomable transcendental qualities of the Lord. It is said that Lord
Anantadev.
Anantadeva has tried to expound the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord with his numberless tongues, and that for numberless years together it has been
Impossible.
impossible to estimate the qualities of the Lord. The above statement of the qualities of the Lord is just to estimate his qualities as far as human being is able to see him.
Okay.
Shall I continue?
Enough, Mataji. So, in slokas 26 to 30, the separation of Mother Earth from the Lord. So, what is the answer? The Lord's qualities are so much, the Lord's pastimes are so much. By you remembering and discussing those, you'll always remain under shelter of the Lord. So, Prabhupada gives how much qualities the Lord had. It said, unending, unimaginable. He gives example. What is example is, if you take an object and hit it with a hammer, it'll get into powder, right? So powder is such a small particle, How many such particles will make up that object is, you cannot even imagine the count. He says, like that is the transcendental qualities of the Lord. You cannot come to an ending at all. That much is it. And he gives another example. What's another example? Anantadeva is who's Anantashesha, right? So the Garbhodaksha Vishnu is sleeping on the bed of Anantashesh. Now this Anantashesh has got a lot of hoods. Okay. So from the time of creation, not today, from the time of creation, each hood will glorify one pastime, one quality of the Lord. And the next hood will glorify. The next hood will glorify. Another, not the same, another pastime, another quality of the Lord. Like that, they are continuously glorifying the Lord for time immemorial. And they have not repeated any of the quality and it's still going on. That is the glory of the Lord Sri Krishna. Right? So, there is no end to discussion on the subject matter. One can continuously discuss about the subject matter, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and always remain in the presence of the Lord, under shelter of the Lord. And that's what Bhagavatam is concluding. Okay? So, Mother Earth's feeling of separation, that, oh, the Lord is no more there, what will I do? Dharma gave the answer. This is the answer. Right? Okay, are we very clear? So, how we can easily come out of the separation of the Lord? By constantly practicing activities that will make us to remember the Lord. Okay. Any questions so far?
It is just scroll down.
Yeah.
Here it is retain or detain.
How we can detain? Detain means withhold.
But that is retain. No? Detain is.
Or you can say,
detain.
yeah. You're talking about retention, right? Here, detain also means, for example, a boy was in 7th standard, he was detained in 7th standard, he did not pass to 8th standard, means he remained in 7th standard only. Like that it is.
That is holding back.
Holding back, correct. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now we will read this next this one. So who can read?
I read, Prabhu.
Yeah.
The answer is that there is no need to detain the Lord. The Lord, being omnipresent, can be present with us if we want Him at all. By His omnipresence, He can also be with us if we are attached to His devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. There is nothing in the world with which the Lord is disconnected.
Superb, no? Is it not superb?
Yes.
The Lord is somewhere, but you can still connect with Him by these activities.
Yes, Prabhu.
And you can feel His presence all the time. That is the beauty. And the Lord is omnipresent. What is omnipresent? That means He's present in the atom, He's present in the largest atom. He's present everywhere. The only problem is we are not realizing Him. That's why Kunti Maharani offered these prayers. What prayer she offered? She said, Maya Javani Kachanam Agnya Dokshajam Avyayam Na Lakshashe Modadrisha Nato Natya Daroyata. Why she said that? Nato Natya Daroyata means, Lord, your activities and pastimes, your drama, your play is always going on. Right? One side Rasa Leela is always going on. One side Krishna's activities with other devotees is always going on. There's nothing has stopped. But why I'm not able to see them? Why I'm not able to perceive them? Because the screen of Maya, curtain, we have curtain, no? Put curtain in our window, the sunlight won't come. Like that, we put on curtain by which the vision of the Lord is taken away. I'm not able to see, I'm only seeing curtain, I'm not seeing the Lord. So what is this curtain? The curtain is the illusion of the three modes of material nature. So by practice of devotion, what is it? Hearing, chanting and remembering, that curtain of Maya will be slowly removed away. Right? And that removal is Yoga Maya. Closing the curtain is Maya. Removing the curtain is Yoga Maya. So Yoga Maya removes the curtain between us and the Lord. Mahamaya pulls the curtain between us and the Lord. That's what Kunti Maharani offered the prayers. Right? Is this point clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu, so our devotional service to the Lord should be apratihata and ahituki, Prabhu.
Yeah, it should be continuous. It should be uninterrupted. It should be both.
So even if the Lord is not there, we can feel the presence of the Lord, Prabhu.
Yeah. The holy name is not different from the Lord. The holy name, you can, for example, there are 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. If you read Namashtakam, it clearly tells that the gopis, when they were present on this planet Earth, they exchanged all the 5 rasas. In fact, Balramji is the best example. Balramji is the one person who dealt with the Lord in all 5 rasas. Right? You know that? Balramji, in the form of musical instruments, in the form of footwear, in the form of objects, he experienced Shantaras. As Lakshman, he demonstrated Dasyaras. Okay? As Balram, he demonstrated actually Sakyaras and as well as Vatsalyaras, because he was telling Krishna, oh, don't do this, this is what it is, and things like that. And as Ananga Manjari, he demonstrated Madhuryaras. So that means Balramji is showing the way that anyone can deal with the Lord in all the aspects of rasas. Okay. Now, Balramji concludes that saying that there are all these rasas and Krishna is not different from the holy name, are embedded in this holy name. That means when we recite a chant the holy name with a lot of love, with a lot of dedication, you will experience all those 5 rasas like how Balramji experienced with the Lord. That's the whole point.
All the 5 rasas also, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Even though it will be a different, like for example, in case of me, like I'll be looking at Krishna as a toddler, but still we go go through the 5 rasas. That's what you're trying to say, Prabhu.
You have 5 different opportunities to experience all the 5 rasas with the Lord. 5 different situations. That's what it is.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay, so now let's look at, now the question is, how do you feel the Lord who is not going to be disconnected with us? What are the methods of practice? Okay, so now.
Prabhu, when you said opportunities, is it like you will be involved in different pastimes of the Lord?
No, I'm talking about devotion service.
And devotion
service. Okay. I'm not talking about after liberation or anything. You can practice devotion services in many ways where you can experience all 5 rasas, is my point. And it is demonstrated by Balramji, and it is possible for us to do.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Yes. Now, can each of you read one bullet here?
I'll read, Prabhu. The first one. The only thing we must learn is to excavate the source of connection and thus be linked with him by offenseless service.
Fantastic. What is the source of connection to the Lord?
Vanda, Prabhu.
The holy name.
Or bhakti, na Prabhu.
Bhakti or holy name. Holy name. Okay. Your source of connection. Okay. Is this clear? Source of connection? Okay. And what is offenseless?
Offenseless.
You have 10 offenses to the holy name. 10 offenses to holy name. You are all aware?
Every day we do.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. That's it. Right? By avoiding the 10 offenses to the holy name and holding the holy name as the, what do you say, the real aspect of your life, you will get the source of connection, you will be offenseless in your service. Okay? No aparadh. That's the point. Okay. Now, you may perform some aparadh without your knowledge, but that is okay. But your intention should be, I should lead a life which is offenseless. That should be your intention. And if you're making somewhere, right, you should correct yourself. Okay, I'll give you an example. In one of our outreach programs, recently, we were doing kirtans. Okay. And suddenly the person was singing kirtan. He sang and he explained the importance of Harinam and his idea was make everyone to sing along with him. But in the process, he started to tell certain glories about Krishna. Right? Oh, when you recite the holy name, Krishna will dance on your tongue. All those things he said. And what did he say? This is all to the newcomers. Okay. Which offense is this?
Number 7.
What is the offense?
Teaching to a faithless person the glories of the name.
Instructing a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Right? So we cannot instruct because the faith is yet to come. He is yet to practice devotion. A newcomer. So you cannot teach the glories of the holy name to a newcomer. You can teach about the holy name. You can teach about simple things, but not the esoteric, the extractive, the glories, all those personal activities of the Lord. That's the point, right? So you see, now why I'm giving this example is, even though we don't have the intention, but we may perform offenses without our knowledge. So that's why when we are in association of devotees, another devotee may help me. Prabhuji, looks like you didn't notice this. This will cause an offense. Then I'll realize, oh God, I made a mistake. Then I'll retract. So this is the power of association. Okay? Are we getting this?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Can someone read point number 2?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We can be connected with him by the transcendental sound representation of the Lord. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself are identical, and one who chants the holy name of the Lord in an offenseless manner can at once realize that the Lord is present before him. Even by the vibration of radio sound, we can partially realize the sound relativity, and by renouncing the sound
Resounding. By resounding the sound.
Sorry, Prabhu. And by resounding the sound of transcendence, we can verily feel the presence of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
What is resounding the sound of transcendence? Again and again repeating, continuously repeating. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this continuously. It is not that Prabhupada recited Hare Krishna mantra once enough, Prabhu, enough, more than enough. No, it's not that. Okay, who has not taken turn, please take your turn.
See, Prabhu,
Hare Krishna.
this age, when everything is polluted by the contamination of Kali, it is instructed in the scriptures and preached by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that by chanting the holy name of the Lord, we can at once be free from contamination and gradually rise to the status of transcendence and go back to Godhead. The offenseless chant of the holy name of the Lord is as auspicious as the Lord himself. And the movement of pure devotees of the Lord all over the world can at once change the troublesome face to the world. Only by the propagation of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord can we be immune from all effects of the age of Kali. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Fantastic. Look at what Prabhupada gave. Prabhupada gave the first principle of a devotee is to chant the holy name of the Lord. So he said, you should chant 16 rounds minimum every day. And if you chant more than that, it tells that you acquire taste for chanting the holy name. Look at the prime essence of what Prabhupada gave us. Huh? You know, in medicine, there are many ways to inject, give medicine to us. Okay. So the simplest form of injection is, in giving treatment to us, is give tablets in a lighter dosage. Sometimes they give tablets with a larger dosage accompanied with other medicines so that it can act faster. Okay. Sometimes what they would do, they would give injection in some parts of the body. Okay. But sometimes when there are certain problems of the heart or anything like that, you know what they do? They directly give injection onto the local organ straight. No other compromise. And that will make it to function properly. Like that, out of many principles of devotion, Prabhupada's focus on the holy name was so phenomenal that he made that as a prime duty of every devotee. And that's where the secret lies. And he gave that directly. Right? He gave the 10 offenses to the holy name, and he gave the holy name, the glories of the holy name. By taking these two very close to our heart, we can transcend all the material consciousness that we have, become perfect in our life. That's the glory. So that's what the glory of Srila Prabhupada is. The greatness of an Acharya is to give the most perfect medicine in the perfect dosage. If you give more dosage of the same medicine, he may die. No. Perfect dosage, perfect medicine. That's what Prabhupada gave us. Okay. Yeah, someone read 4.
Hare Krishna.
The religious practice for the age of Kali is to broadcast the glories of the holy name. Only for this purpose has the Lord, in a yellow color, descended as Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 3.40. And again in his summary of the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, he writes, the third chapter specifically describes the distribution of love of Godhead. It also describes the religion of the age, which is simply to distribute the holy name of Lord Krishna and propagate the process of loving him. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 17.3.1.
So now you see the role of Lord Krishna himself. He said, okay, I gave all these things, but I need a practical demonstration of the holy name, usage of the holy name. So what he did, Lord himself as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Gaura Chandra, and then what did he do? He illuminated our consciousness with the holy name, right? So following the principles of what Lord Chaitanya said and making that as one's life is the greatest benediction one can get. Okay, next.
The earth reminded Dharma how both of them had been overburdened by the excessive military strength of demoniac kings. But she explained the Supreme Personality of Godhead had appeared by his internal energy to offer them relief. She continued her lament. Who therefore can tolerate the pangs of separation from that Supreme Personality of Godhead? He could conquer the gravity and passion of love, pleasing glance, and hearty appeals. When he traversed my immersed in the dust by my traversed my immersed in the dust
No,
of
when he traversed, I got immersed in the dust of his.
I got immersed in the dust of his, and thus would be sumptuously covered with grass, which appeared like hair standing on me out of pleasure. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.16.35. The cow, she is explaining about her experience after she had Supreme Personality of Godhead.
When he was present.
When he was present.
Yes. Okay. So now we'll conclude this. This is from Prabhupada. What is he trying to conclude to us on this chapter? Someone read.
Srila Prabhupada's purport to this text describes the intensity of the earth's feeling of separation. There were chances of separation between the Lord and his thousands of queens because of the Lord's being absent from home. But as far his connection with earth was concerned, the Lord would traverse the earth with his lotus feet, and therefore there was no chance of separation. When the Lord left the surface of the earth to return to his spiritual abode, the earth's feelings of separation were therefore more acute. One can hardly imagine the earth's grief. For 125 years, Krishna's lotus feet graced her soil. Then, on Krishna's leaving the planet, Kali entered just as darkness descends after sunset. Horrors followed immediately as religiosity crumbled, cleanliness and mercy departed. Meat-eating religions began. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So this is the problem with Kali. So when Kali became very prominent, it increased the burden, and when it increased the burden of the Mother Earth, she felt the separation of Krishna more. Right? So we have the principles, the rules and methods. We should become very serious in our devotion. The only thing that will save our life, the only aspect of our life, and nothing else. Right? So what we will do is we will recite the 6th and the 7th verse of Shikshashtakam that actually tells us about separation from the Lord. Okay, we'll all recite together. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Namakari bahuda nija sarva shakti tatrarpita niyamita smarane nakalaha etadrishi
Bhagavan
durdaivamidashamiha janinanura. Okay. Okay, that is the second. Okay. So we'll recite the 6th one. Nayanam galadashrudaraya vadanam gadgadarudaya gira vakai nichitam vapukada. Now we'll recite the 7th one. Yugahitam nimishena chakshusha prarvashayit shunyayitam jagat sharvam govindam virahena. So for a devotee, he sees Shunyayitam Jagat Sharvam. So what does he do? He immediately gets connected to Krishna in the form of his holy name, or the form of prasada, form of bhajans, form of deity worship, whatever it may be. Right? He takes shelter of that, and then he lives a life. Just like how Gauranga Mahaprabhu gave a cloth to Pratapruddha and said, you can remember me, worship me through this. Many devotees, they took the Jagannath flag and kept it close to their heart and remembered the Lord all the time whenever they were traveling in separation, things like that. Like this, like that, there are many ways to remember the Lord. Okay, so we can practice those. Okay, so we'll end today's class. Any questions? We will.
Prabhu, one Dr. Suma Sridhar has joined, Prabhu. She was my colleague in Dayanand Sagar College.
Hari.
He has visited Vrindavan for more than 10 times.
Fantastic.
But I wanted her to come to our Bhagavatam classes, and today she joined, Prabhu.
Okay, welcome Shrima Mataji. Did you enjoy today's class?
She's not responding.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Okay, any questions any of you have?
That's a wonderful class. I don't have any questions, but I want to read again and again, and because many things what we know you have revised everything, and we should read and we come back with you with the questions next time.
Okay, so as a homework, please read Canto 1, Chapter 16, text 20 till text 36. So you have to read the purports of all these 16. You have 1 week time to read. So take your time to read, but read with a lot of concentration and try to impact your consciousness, right? So that is the key. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, yesterday there was a question from Subramaniam Prabhu that, as a layman, how to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord? Because there are so many demigods, everyone is following different demigods for their material desires. But how to understand as a layman, how to make him understand that, Supreme Lord, Krishna is the Supreme.
Okay, so when you say layman, you're telling that he is uneducated, or how is it? How is educated, or how is it?
Atheist, you can call it, Prabhu. Even educated also sometimes may not accept. That's what.
That means he's not a layman.
Yeah.
He's educated, but his education is on a different plane.
Yes, bro.
Okay, so how to understand Krishna as the Supreme, correct? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So the word is how Krishna is Supreme.
Yeah.
Okay, is Subramania Prabhu there?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, you're there, right, Prabhu? Okay.
Yes.
So very simple, Prabhu. Prabhu, you take any organization today, okay, be it a trust, or be it a company, or be it any organization, all the managers, all the directors, all the trustees are all equal, Prabhu?
There are different designations
Levels.
attached.
Different designations attached, different levels are there, correct, no?
Yeah.
But there will be only one chairperson, correct?
Of course, yeah.
Have you seen any company where there are 100 chairmen, 50 chairmen like that?
No.
No, that doesn't exist. And you're an auditor and you're coming from that background, so you know. Okay. So similarly, Prabhu, what is created in the spiritual world, everything you see as a reflection here in the material world, but in the perverted form. Perverted form means impure form. Okay. So, for example, love exists in the spiritual world in a very strong format, but that is also reflected in this material world in a perverted form. That's why we have the sex and all sorts of things in improper manner. Okay, so everything is a reflection of the spiritual world. That's what you have to understand. Okay, next I'll come. Prabhu, today we have a parliament, right? So we have chief minister, then we have cabinet ministers. Now, are there 100 cabinet ministers, 100 chief ministers and one cabinet minister? No, only one chief minister and many cabinet ministers. And below the cabinet ministers, you have corporators, then you have other field workers, other technocrats, bureaucrats, whoever it may be. So there is a hierarchy. That's a simple method. Okay. The same thing applies to our country. Prime minister is only one. Not only in this country, be it America, Russia, Europe, wherever you take, same principles. Right, bro? Okay. So similarly, you take this earth or this planet, material creation. Material creation consists of many, many activities that needs to be performed on a day-to-day basis. That is how the nature functions, right? Amount of oxygen required to run this material world, right? How much of pressure that is required. I'm just taking few. How much of water is required? The people to live, so much of produce needs to happen on this material world. So like that, there are many, many things that the nature has to function. If nature does not function, for example, nature saying, okay, I'll stop producing any more rice, right? You'll see people starve. It is impossible. That means all the functions of nature, there are lakhs and lakhs of functions of the nature, are all done by different personalities. Okay. So, for example, Vayu Bhagavan, what will he do? What does Vayu Bhagavan do?
He gives you the wind, air, and all that for
He
oxygen.
maintains. Correct. What does Varuna Bhagavan do?
He gives the water required for the
Samudra and all those things, right? For the aquatics, other things to live. right? So like that you see many Iha Devatas or many personalities were given a particular responsibility to manage that is the entire planetary creation. Okay? But there is one person who will have to manage these people so that these people do their job properly. And that person is Vishnu. So, Vishnu is considered as the head of all these Iha Devatas who in turn make this entire planetary system to function. And that's why what happens, you see in any scriptures, any Puranas, any Itihasas, the Upanishads, you see all these Iha Devatas, they offer their prayers to Vishnu. It is not that you and I are creating. You take even Shiva Purana. Lord Shiva offers his oblations to Lord Vishnu. Everywhere. When you perform a yajna at home, you may perform Ganapati Homa, but you will start with the names of Lord Krishna. You will end with the names of Lord Krishna. That means our beginning, our ending, everything is about Krishna. And in between, you will do Ganapati Homa. That means what? To perform the Ganapati Homa successfully, you need mercy of Lord Krishna. This is what you have to clearly understand. You should watch and understand. So from this, what we can conclude is, that means there are many managers or directors who take important responsibilities in running this planetary system. But there is one person whom all of these people report to and they are obliged to. And that is Vishnu. That is the position of Vishnu. And Vishnu is one of the expansions of Lord Krishna. So Krishna becomes completely supreme. Right? And which sloka tells that Vishnu is a fraction of Krishna? How to understand this? Very simple. In this entire creation, the Shastra tells this material creation is only 1/4 the creation, the size of the spiritual creation. That means the entire creation outside of the material world is very big, vast. Material itself is not able to understand the dimension, but imagine the dimension of spiritual creation, vast. Okay? And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti mattva bhajante ma bodhabhava samanvita. So he says, by the fraction of my energy, I created this material world. That means the expansion, the Purusha avatar of Lord Krishna is Mahavishnu. And by his fraction of that energy, he created this material world. Who creates the material world? Mahavishnu, Narayana. He is the Purusha avatar. So that's why we say, Om Namo Narayanaya. That Om Namo Narayana, when we say, it also sees that the Om is the sound produced by the Mother Earth when it revolves and rotates. And that refers to Narayana. And what Krishna says? Aham sarvasya prabhu. That means by the fraction of my energy, I created this material world. And after creating the material world, I expanded as Purusha avatar and entered into this material world. So that means this entire material creation is a fraction of that energy from the aspect of Lord Krishna. So we understand the supremacy of Krishna from the Shastra. We recited today 2 slokas we recited at the starting of the class. What did we recite? Param Brahma, Parandama, Pavitram Paraman Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum. So Arjuna is telling, hey, Krishna, you know who you are. Everything about you, your place, your people, your activity, everything is Param, supreme, unimaginable. He said that. But after that he said, I am not saying this. He said, all the great rishis, the Shastras, including demigods, everyone have concluded this. That's the next sloka he says. So that means from scriptures we take evidence, from activities that we see we take evidence, and then we conclude, oh, this is how Vishnu is supreme. Vishnu is not equivalent to Ganesha or Murga or any other Devata, Surya, Varuna, Vayu. He is not equivalent to them. That's the conclusion. Secondary. Can Surya Deva perform the activities of Varuna Deva? No, he is not empowered. Okay, that means the empowerment of one Iha Devata cannot be performed by another Iha Devata. That is the point to conclude. But Krishna can perform the activities of all the Devatas in one shot. right? So when we are looking at a concept, you have to think, why is this happening? Why that happening? Then we can conclude. Does it help you, Prabhu?
Prabhu, in this context, that means when we say Om Namo Narayanaya, Vishnu is the pivotal role.
Yes.
So Vishnu is the supreme Godhead, not
For
Krishna.
the material creation, he is the Purusha avatar, Mahavishnu.
Okay. So Om Namo Narayana is to address Mahavishnu.
Correct.
So the Mahavishnu is the supreme Godhead, not Krishna. Krishna is the part of Vishnu, or Vishnu is the part of Krishna?
Vishnu is part of Krishna. How? For example, we said Mahavishnu, right? We said one material creation. That's called one solar system, right? You go to the sky, how many stars do you see, Prabhu?
Whatever we can visualize.
That means unlimited stars you see, right?
Yes, of course.
Each star is one solar system.
Yes.
That means each star is governed by one sun planet and many other subplanets. That means there are many Vishnus in each of these stars. So Krishna expands as Mahavishnu. From Mahavishnu, many of these stars they've expanded. So that is how the hierarchy comes from.
So that means we have so many Mahavishnus depending on the universe's development.
Mahavishnu is one. Mahavishnu, many Garbhodaksha Vishnu comes.
Okay.
Okay,
Prabhu.
So that is the simplest way to understand, Prabhu.
Yeah. It needs little more or deeper study for me to understand.
Everywhere there's the simplest way to think is everywhere there is hierarchy, there's only one supreme person.
Yeah.
So similarly, if that is the truth, how can all gods be same? That means there must be one supreme God. Who is that supreme God? Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Refer these three, you will get your answer. Okay, Prabhu?
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Very nice.
Wonderful explanation, Prabhu. Thank you.
Very wonderful explanation. Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for more clarity you have given today.
Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, on a lighter note, once in our office we were discussing the same topic, and the points that came out was that usually out of all the pictures that we see Shiva is always meditating on someone, and even Brahmaji is always meditating on someone. But in all the scriptures or all the posters, we never see Krishna meditating on anyone. He is like a CEO of the company. He is roaming around here and there. So in that sense, even the conclusion was similar.
Yes, very nice.
This thing you said just now, there are many Vishnus, but Mahavishnu is only one or many, Prabhu? I didn't hear it properly.
Okay, so the expansion goes like this. So Krishna, by his energy, he expands into Balaram. Okay? Balaram's expansion is Nityananda Prabhu. Okay, or Balaram is not different from Nityananda Prabhu. You can say Balaram and Nityananda Prabhu are like twins. Okay. From Balaram expands into four quadruples. Yeah. Vasudeva, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Shankarshana. Okay. Now there are second quadruple. I will not go into those things. So from the quadruple expansion, the Vasudeva expands into one avatar called Purusha avatar. Okay, the Purusha avatar is represented by Narayana or Vasudeva.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So in the Purusha avatar, the first expansion is Karanodakshayi Vishnu. That means he is the Karana or the cause of the entire material creation. Okay, so what is the size of Karanodakshayi Vishnu? Is huge, is big, is lying on the casual ocean. And what does Karanodakshayi Vishnu do? He just lies and breathes. When he breathes in, he breathes out. When he does these two activities, he creates this solar system. One anda comes from the skin pores of Karanodakshayi Vishnu or Mahavishnu. So from that one anda, that means one solar system is created, and within that solar system is what we discussed about, many things that we talked about.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, so this is how the creation aspects happens.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. We tried to explain Subramanyam Prabhu so much, but he couldn't. He is so satisfied today that you explained it so nicely, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Okay, so are we good today? Thank you all for your wonderful morning association. Today is Ekadasi. So let's have a wonderful, glorious day, remembering more and more about the Lord and chanting more and more about the Lord. Okay? Chandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Pancha Kalpatarobhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat
Dandavat
Pranam.
Pranam. Thank you.
Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Dandavat
Prabhu.
Pranam
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Okay. I'll end the class
Hare
here.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.